Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Now today, I want to discuss something that I think is really important, and that is beater watches. Why I think everybody needs a beater watch. Doesn't matter what type of collecting you're doing on a socioeconomic level or anything like that, but there should be multiple beater watches, or at least one, but I say multiple beater watches in every collection. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my newest watch in my collection, the Seiko Baby Tuna. This is the blue version with the blue ceramic, and this is my new beater watch. And I also just bought my first G-Shock. Yes, I've been a little bit of a spree, but these are the new watches in my collection, and they've spurred my making this video. Now, of course, before we get into it, we got a ton of new watches at delraywatch.com. We just got an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 15450 gray dial. Very hard to get, and guess what? The cheapest one in the world. That's what you come to expect at Del Rey Watch. We also got in a Rolex Oyster Perpetual 39 rhodium dial. Owned this watch myself. Absolutely love it. Once again, one of the cheapest out there. And a Sin 104 white dial. One of the best bang for a buck tool watches on the market. All at delraywatch.com. Link in the description below. So yes, beater watches. So I guess first, let me get it out of the way. Let me define what a beater watch is to me. Now, this entire video is based on my philosophy of collecting. A beater watch is a watch that you can wear and not care about, either while doing daily things that you worry about wearing an expensive watch, like if you're changing the oil on your car, or you're going to the beach and you don't want to scratch up your nicer watch, or if you're going on vacation and you don't feel like taking a more expensive piece. So a watch that, I'm not saying you don't care about, but if something were to happen to it, it doesn't impact you awfully financially, it can be replaced, and all that doesn't mean you shouldn't like it. But essentially, that is what a beater watch is. It's a watch you can beat up. I'm also aware we have a lot of collectors watching this channel from different socioeconomic levels. They have different budgets, and that's okay. A beater watch is a fluid concept. Now, for some people, they want their beater watch to be a cheap Casio, $10, $15. I own a few of them. This right here, my G-Shock, now this is the multi-band 6. I'm going to do a video about this. This cost me $70, $80. Now, I have watches that are worth tens of thousands. Now, this Baby Tuna was a lot more expensive. This was about $700. And I also have my SKX, which I actually left at home. So for some people, $700 isn't a beater watch. That's okay, though the concept remains the same. Doesn't matter if you're collecting Patek Grandmaster chimes or if you're collecting Casios. A beater watch is a watch that you can comfortably afford to replace, that you can wear to beat around in, right? So budget out of the way, the concept should be for everybody. Now, why do I love beater watches? Well, for multiple reasons. Firstly, I actually get anxiety. I take care of my watches. I wear my watches way more than most, and a lot of them get scratched up, and I don't mind scratches. But at the same time, I'm not going to wear my white gold Calatrava to go-karting. I'm not going to wear my Moser Aventurine Moon to go trekking in the jungle. Or even an easier example, I don't wear those expensive watches when I fly on airplanes, particularly long haul. Because sometimes I have to take them off in the airport, put it through the scanner. Other times because I'm knocking into my seat, and that bothers me. So generally, when I fly, for example, I wear my SKX. It makes me feel comfortable. I love it anyway. But guess what? If I scratch it up, I actually kind of like it. I think it gives it character, and it's not as bad as denting a white gold Patek. So Beater watches give me comfort while still wearing a very cool watch that I enjoy. Also, beater watches are a great way to experiment, right? So this G-Shock is my second ever digital watch. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get into G-Shock. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about them. I'm starting to appreciate it. This is honestly a watch I haven't decided if I'm actually gonna wear. I mean, I wore it today, but I don't know if it has a place in my rotation, but it was inexpensive enough for me to buy it, experiment with it, and enjoy it. Whereas this baby tuna, I've always liked, and I know I'm gonna wear it, but at the same time, I like having another option that's not just my SKX when I want to change it up and I wanna wear a beater watch. Since beater watches should be less expensive, at least proportionately to what you usually spend on watches, it's a great way to experiment and not feel bad. This is a 50mm watch. I don't wear 50mm watches, but you know what? I think it looks great in this case design, and I don't feel awful because I didn't spend multiple thousands of dollars on it. Now, I'm aware $700 for a lot of people is a lot of money, but I'm just being real with you guys. I mean, it's real money to me as well, but in the grand scheme of my watch collection, it's definitely very much on the lower end. So I can afford to buy it and wear it and experiment with different colors and different sizes. And maybe down the line, now that I've worn this big watch, maybe I'll buy something else in a bigger size because I've experimented with this. It's also a great way to scratch a watch itch. You guys know what it's like. Boy, do you get the itch for a new watch. I really want a new watch, but you know what? I don't feel like spending thousands of dollars, or I don't feel like spending hundreds of dollars, or you know what? It's just not prudent at this time. Well, you can scratch that itch with lower priced items and you still get a cool new watch. You still get to be a watch geek. You still get the beautiful feeling of, or at least most of the beautiful feeling of getting something new to you and shiny, and you don't have to break the bank. I think whether you're collecting tourbillons, minute repeaters, vintage Rolex Newman Daytonas, or, you know, if you're collecting G-Shocks, I think every collection should have a wide variety of value to you of watches that you're not afraid to wear and you're not afraid to just maybe even play with, like me and this G-Shock. You know, this tuna definitely gonna be a beater watch I'm gonna wear. This G-Shock was more of an experiment, and I'm actually really liking it, but it just should be a great way to expand your collecting palette, to appreciate horology in the wider scheme of things. Not everything has to be expensive for you to enjoy. And once again, I will reiterate, expensive is a relative term based on what you can afford. However, I do think every watch collector from every walk of life should have one, if not multiple, beater watches, because I get the same enjoyment from my SKX than I do from my gold Girard-Perregaux Laureato. Now, yes, I wear them differently, obviously, but the SKX makes me smile. This tuna is making me smile, and while I am not 100% sure if this G-Shock is going to make it permanently into the rotation, it's making me smile too, because I'm appreciating something else. And I'm a watch geek. I'm sure a lot of you guys are watch geeks. And who says you have to spend a ton of money to enjoy this hobby? You don't. However, I will make a caveat. Now, this is very important. And I've made videos about this before, and I've been flamed about it, but I still believe this. I would not buy hundreds or dozens or don't buy all beater watches. I think there is something to be said about saving your money for a grail watch and achieving the grail watch and getting the best you can afford. That is important as well, but not everything has to be to that goal. However, all I guess I'm trying to say is beware of the trap of buying a dozen $500 watches when you could have afforded that $4,000 watch by now. So I think, yes, get your beater watches, have a few if you can afford it. That's great. Just don't always splurge on the low end so you can actually afford what you really want. But also, don't ignore the low end because you already have the expensive pieces. It's about balance. I love beater watches. I feel like I haven't given them enough credit, especially recently, and I'm really loving this tuna. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Guys, thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.